Yes, sir. Hello, Coach Dan.
Hello,
Yeah, of course. I'm online. I will never miss Super Saturday with you and the team. Welcome back. We're also a little bit struggling with our network here and with load shedding here in Cape Town, South Africa. But yeah, I prepared a small training and the PowerPoint, you can get it. On many requests, we got a lot of requests to explain a little bit more about the car pill, the power pill. So I will off my camera so I can show the PowerPoint. I will give you some simple tips and hints how you can challenge your environment and show your environment and how to put the power pill to the markets. Yeah, I will give some technology background about it. So let me share my screen, Coach Dan.
go ahead, Renz.
Yeah, okay. Hopefully you can see my screen.
Yes, you do.
Yeah. So we have some very basic to the point flyers, brochures, etc., etc. So people are asking what's in the car pill, etc., etc. So I can elaborate a little bit right now. Yes. Um, well, the car pill, the power pill, is doing a few things. First of all, it emulsifies the water, and it's very important, especially if you live in tropical circumstances. Yeah. Um, because fuel attracts water. Yeah. So it means it's hygroscopic. Yeah. So um, that's not really bad, but 25 years ago, the refineries, the fuel companies, the oil companies, they used lead as a lubricant. Lead as in LEAD, lead, as in mercury. So this is very bad for the environment. This is very bad for the humans. So they replaced the lead for sulfur, and they use sulfur as a lubricant. And sulfur is a pretty okay lubricant because as your pistons go through the shafts um, in your engine, it needs to be lubricated. Yeah. So the if you have an old timer, a 30-year-old car, you still need to use the old fuel because that's how it's designed. Yeah. Now, I will go later in a little bit more on this water problem, but the product is dissolving the water in any fuel. Yeah. So the sulfur stays a lubricant and it's not counterproductive. Yeah. I will get in that a little bit later. Yeah. Now the combustion is better because the droplets of the fuel are smaller in the injections. Yeah. So it means the spray shower out of your injectors, the droplets are smaller, so you can mix more oxygen with less fuel. Yeah. Then it improves lubricity. Yeah. So it's the engine has more lubricant. There's a polymer in the pill, so it adds um, easiness how the pistons go in your engine. Yeah, it's like having extra smooth ice skating. Yeah, so it's a detergent dispergent. There's no such thing as clean fuel. In fuel, you got a lot of things I will show you in the next slides, but there's no such thing as clean fuel. Yeah. So it means the varnish, lacquer, soot, gums in the fuel that are burning in your engine will be less and less and less. Yeah. And then there's emission reduction. I will go into that too. But this is a simple flyer what people can use about, say, the top five things that the pill are doing positive wise. Yeah. Now, in other Asian countries, they are very clever to gather their own testimonials about their own motorbike, their own car, etc., etc. The pill dissolves 100%. You can do the simple tests even on your own in your own kitchen, but it dissolves 100%. So there's no residual in the engine, etc., etc. Yeah. So there's a lot of different testimonials that people are using from their own area, the barrio, the barangay, and this is how they show that the pill is working. We urge you to gather testimonials also in your teams. Yeah. And then in any workshop, any garage, you find these machines where you can test your engine before using the pill and after using the pill. Yeah. So this is a high-tech machine where you can see in the exhaust the status of the combustion. Yeah. So you can do this low tech, you can do this high tech. In a lot of garages or workshops, you have these machines and you can test how the combustion is improving after using the pill. Yeah. So it's really nice that you can work even factual. Yeah. Now you can do it also low tech. We made this little video. They're doing this in other Asian countries, but you can see here two candles, yeah, with fuel. And in the left candle, on the left side of your screen, you see with our PowerPill dissolved in the fuel. And on the right side, this is just plain fuel. And then look on the top of the flame. Look on the top of the flame, and you can see on the left side, there's no carbon. And on the right side, with the pure fuel, there's carbon on top of the flame. Yeah. So when you fill up your car, this is from South Africa, from Miss Malika. Thank you for doing this test. This is on the TikTok of Miss Malika. So you see on the top of the flame of um, the right candle, you can see carbon, and this is what's happening when you burn fuel with your car. Yeah. And when your car gets older, the smoke is getting bigger because there's more congestion in your engine. So your engine is lacking of oxygen. Yeah. So the atomization, the droplets, are not really more effective. Yeah. So on the left side, you see no carbon on top of the flame. So this is a test what you can do in your own area. Yeah, you can do this in your own area. This works globally. Yeah, so this is a low-tech test where you can prove that the power pill, the car pill, is functional. Yeah, you can do it low-tech in your own kitchen table and be careful with fire, with fuel, or you can do it high-tech, where you can always prove 100% that the power pill is working. Yeah. Now let's dig a little bit deeper into the function. Yeah. Now with fuel, you got a lot of challenges. Yeah. Now sulfur is the lubricant used by the oil companies, but when you measure high tech, you will measure all these unburned hydrocarbons. You will see carbon monoxide. That's a very toxic gas, nitrous oxide, and you can measure the particles, yeah, from the incomplete burning of your fuel of your car, or your bus, or your truck, or your motorbike. Yeah. So a non-complete combustion, you can measure this. And even in brand new cars, it's around 80% effective. So it means 20% is going into the environment because of poor combustion. Yeah. Now, the mission is to save money for the customers while reducing harmful emissions with technology that makes fuel burn better. That's the mission behind the PowerPill. Yeah. Now, the oil companies are extracting from crude oil, and they cook it in the refinery, and then you get different layers from the refinery tower in different grades, from diesel to gas to even asphalt in the lower side. Yeah. So not every refinery is the same. When you have refineries that are pretty old and lack of maintenance, you get a different grade of fuel. Yeah. So they distilled it in these fraction towers, and they split it in different components. Yeah. Maybe you don't know it, but airplanes, they fly on a very light version of diesel because they cannot use gasoline. So it's a heavier fuel what they use, yeah, because gasoline is more flammable. Yeah. So it's a different blends and a different qualities from where you live around the globe. Yeah. Now, if you measure the octane at the gas station, it also may vary. Yeah. And it also has to do with aging of fuel. Yeah. If you live on an island, always go to the high traffic gasoline station because fuel aging is faster than you think. If you have a farm like here in South Africa, if you have a farm and you have those diesel tanks, yeah, on your farm, and the diesel is like 6 months old or a year old, the octane rate may drop. Yeah. And the fuel is getting more contaminated. Yeah. You get even this, how you call this in English? The microbe growth in your fuel tanks because the fuel is standing still and the fuel is getting, it's growing microbes. And that's also not healthy for the combustion. Yeah. So if you would measure the octane in the low traffic gas stations, then the fuel aging is higher. Yeah. Now, like I said, we're using a lot of diesel around the globe. It's more fuel economy higher, etc., etc. But the older the engines, the older the fuel, the more effective is our product. Yeah, the more effective is our product. So when we started years and years and years ago in Manila with this product, I talked to this gentleman on the gas station because he saw me throwing a pill in an SUV. Yeah. And then he asked me, what is this? Is this an additive? I said, no, this is a fuel enhancer. So I gave him a handful of pills and I told this uncle, this kuya, go to the jeepneys at the taxi with the most miles, with the biggest black smoke. And he did. Yeah. And those jeepneys, the Filipinos are wonderful mechanics. And most of these jeepneys are 30 years, 40 years, 50 years old. So he went to a jeepney with probably 500,000 miles on it. And they transport people. And when this jeepney was accelerating, you had this big black smoke behind the jeepney. Yeah. So they filled up this jeepney with 90-liter diesel. They threw in 2 pills. Yeah. And then somehow, after 10 miles, it was really nice, equally through the diesel and in the engine. And then the smoke disappeared. Guess what? A few days later, he popped up in the office with a lot of people who were interested because they saw the smoke disappearing. Yeah. And they didn't measure anything. They just saw one end result of it. Yeah. So when you are busy in your area, please register with photos and TikToks and whatever, that you diminish this big black smoke from the diesel engines, yeah, and use that to show it to potential new clients, yeah. So the problem with burning fuel is if you fill up your car, the efficiency of your car is not even 80%. So it means for every dollar you put in your car, 20%, $20 is going through the exhaust. It's inefficient of burning fuel, and that's a waste of money. Yeah, and there's contamination, and there's acid formation, corrosion. I will explain a little bit later this. Yeah, and then you got water and bacterial growth. Now, if you are living on an island and they store in these big bunkers a long time fuel, even before it hits the gas station, there might be bacterial growth in the bunker fuel. Yeah. Now, we can kill all these bacteria even with the pill in your own fuel tank. Yeah. So it's really, really an effective product. It goes way beyond fuel saving. Yeah. Now, there's a lot of things. Um, um, Not only dust, moisture, silver, metals, asphalts, but there's also soot, gums, lacquer, varnish. Yeah, what's happening into the fuel. Yeah, so if you use the PowerPill 6 to 12 weeks, please after 12 weeks service your car. Yeah, get a new fuel filter, oil filter, because it's cleaning up the engine, and this dirt is going to the filters. It's obvious. And the longer you run on the PowerPill, the cleaner your car, the better the combustion, the more fuel savings you will feel. Yeah. So what I said also already, fuel storage, it can have challenges. Yeah. It depends how fast is the flow from the refinery to the consumer. Yeah. Now, um, there's a chemistry behind fuel burning. I will not go too deep in it, but there should be just coming out of the exhaust, uh, um, cleaner, cleaner chemistry, but in reality, it's not clean chemistry. Yeah, so because we don't have good combustion. Yeah, and you can measure this. Now, one of the things that the PowerPill does in the gas tank, it lowers the pressure. It makes the fuel more liquid, so it cleanses the injectors. Yeah, and the injectors are getting better without replacing the injectors. A lot of people with trucks with a lot of miles, they replace the injectors too early. Yeah? Now there's this injector cleaning product, what I would not suggest to use, because it's like nail polish. That's even harmful to the injectors. Yeah, but a lot of companies are trying to use an additive to clean the injectors, but it's too strong. Yeah. Now with our products, step by step, we have this constant cleaning, and the spray image of the injectors is getting better and better. So while you have smaller atoms, yeah, you can clean more, you can mix more oxygen with less fuel. So you have more power, yeah, you feel more power from your engine, and you start to save more fuel. Yeah. So this is a constant process. Yeah. Now, the bad burning of fuel and the black smoke out of the exhaust is not good for the environment. I remember many years many years ago I was in Seoul in South Korea, and on a Sunday I opened the curtains of my window and I couldn't see even 1 meter in front of me. What happens to be um, big smoke from China came to South Korea. And then I on the TV and there was big warning on the television in all kinds of languages. Please don't go out, use a mask. It's one of these days that too much pollution hits Seoul. Yeah. Um, and maybe you live in an area also with industry or of a lot of traffic. Manila is also one of those cities, unfortunately. When I'm back in Manila, true story, within 2 weeks, I have this little cough, constantly cough, because there's too much pollution. Yeah. So that's bad for an environment, bad for the kids. So one of the missions of our power pill is to prevent this. Yeah. So I will not go into deep into this, but there's a lot of effects on our families, on our environments of all these particles of bad burned fuel. Yeah. When I'm back in Switzerland, within 2 or 3 days, this little cough is gone again because there's more rules and regulations in Switzerland. Yeah, so it depends on the area where you live. Yeah. Now, what I said, um, the power pill emulsifies the water, it improves the combustion, it lubricates more the engine, yeah, and it acts as a detergent and dispergent. Yeah. So these are the benefits, and you can get these slides through Coach Dan, and you can train your own people. So it does way more than you just think. Most people only talk about fuel savings, but it does so much things. I'm using is I'm using it myself as prevention, to keep the engine in a better condition. Yeah. So in your combustion chamber in your car, you have, say, 3 zones. And you got a light zone close to the spark plug, you got a medium zone, and you got a heavy zone. Now, what our car pill is doing, it makes the droplets smaller and it mixes better. So you get, uh, the 80-20%, the unburned fuel is in the heavy zone. Yeah. So with the carpil, you mix it better, so you burn more heavy fuel. Yeah. So it really addresses the 20% of the unburned fuel what you can measure from your exhaust. Yeah. So because it mixes better, you get a better combustion. Yeah. Now Caterpillar says because you got water mixed with sulfur, you get sulfuric acid. Yeah, and Caterpillar, maybe you know Caterpillar from the trucks and the excavators and etc. etc. Um, every 16,000 miles, sorry, 16,000 kilometers, they mostly purge the engine. And this carbonization of the fuel combustion is a big problem. Yeah, it's a huge problem. Now, with the carpil, you prevent a process called carbonization. You prevent this. Yeah, you keep the engine clean. So this carbonization will clog your injectors, the air systems, the valves, the pistons. It's everywhere. Yeah, and it's a very expensive process to decarbonize your engine. Yeah. So with our carpil, we just prevent this clogging and this contamination. Yeah. So I explained this already in the previous slide. And this is very, very important that we raise this atomization, this process. Now there's a polymer also in the carpil. So the first thing is, while we neutralize the water, the lubricants from the oil company from the refinery are doing the job better. Yeah? So if you take out the water, you get less sulfuric acid. So the sulfur stays sulfur. So even the lubricants from the refinery are doing a better job because you prevent water. You prevent sulfur to become sulfuric acid. Because if you combine water with sulfur, you get sulfuric acids. And what Caterpillar is saying, uh, engines don't wear out by friction, but by congestion. So the sulfuric acid is really harming the engines. So now we neutralize the enemy, so the water, but the polymer in our own product is amplifying the lubricant. Yeah? So the injectors stay cleaner, and the pistons are rolling in the piston shafts better. So it's like your pistons will like ice skate better in the engine. Yeah. So the ice is more smoother. Yeah. So there's more lubricity. So that means you help the engine to really work better. You feel more horsepower. Yeah. So there's a technology in this PowerPill. Yeah. There's more technology in the PowerPill than you maybe heard from your upline, your sponsor, or from your local trainer. Yeah. Now they did microscopic tests, and they checked out the pistons and the shafts of the cylinders, yeah, and they could see that there's less scratches or harm if you use a better fuel lubricity, yeah. So this is also measurable in laboratories, yeah. So you keep your engine in a better shape. Yeah. Now the PowerPill, you will see the longer you use it, the less contamination in your filters, etc., etc. Yeah. Now it's like a 5-in-1 product. Yeah. If you want to use, if you want to reach the same goal, what we do with the PowerPill, you have to use 5 different products. But the problem is, if you use the octane booster separately, or the fuel cleaner, or the injector cleaner, or the biofuel enhancer, or the smoke embedder, you pay more money. But all those separate products, they don't have a synergy. Yeah, they don't work together. Yeah, it's a problem. So the technology in the PowerPill is that all these functions have a synergy. They empower each other. So you're doing 5 things at once with the PowerPill. What normally you have to do separately with other products. But if you use these other products separately, you will harm your engine. Yeah. So hopefully you understand a little bit more the PowerPill. It's a 5-in-1 product, and it's cheaper to use to reach a better goal, a higher goal. Yeah. So I explained this already. The product will not harm your engine. It dissolves 100% in your fuel tank. It cannot harm your engine because it doesn't change the specifications of the engine or the specifications of the fuel. Yeah. So, okay, this is a little bit the chemistry behind it. I will not go into this, but the end result is already explained. Yeah. So this is a little bit. Hopefully, I didn't bore you. But you can measure this. You can feel it. You can see it. So go out. Get your testimonials, get your 2 little candles, one without the product, one with the product. Make a little video on the kitchen table yourself. Go out and use it on the big old trucks with a lot of big black smoke. Get them on at least 2 pills if they use it for the first time. After 5 to 10 miles, it really starts to work. Make a before and after video, get knowledgeable, etc., etc. Yeah. So if the PowerPill is a little bit more clearer to you now, type yes in the chat window.